It's December 29th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today in the Treasury Titans. And there's Michael Saylor strolling through the wheat fields of ancient Rome, very stoic look on his face. And think of all the problems that people had back then. Think of all the struggles and challenges they went through every single day: plague, starvation, barbarians from the north, fill in the blank, their neighbor was peeing on their doorstep. I mean, you name it, they had those problems. They were just the reality. And guess what? We have problems today as well. They're just different kinds of problems. But at the end of the day, we're invested in strategy. We're invested in Michael Saylor and Fong Lee and the entire team. And guess what? I am so bullish on this investment, having them take us into the future from the past here in antiquity Rome into the future. Michael Saylor is strolling, looking straight ahead, eyes on the horizon. He knows this is not a 1 day, 5 day, 5 month play. This is a 3 year, 5 year, 10 year infinity play. And I'm along for the ride as well. Let's move on to the Bitcoin therapist who says, I still think this is the most underestimated stock in existence. When Bitcoin finally blows off the top, it's going to be a short killer. This will truly be the most hated rally of all time. Oh, man. Time will tell. Let's see. Chris says, if you're reading this, we are going to win so goddamn much in 2026. And again, Chris is one of those he's also a stoic individual. I've interviewed him. Very good dude, and he's research heavy. So again, when Chris gets bullish, I get bullish. Bullish is basically what I'm trying to say here. Adam says, massive Bitcoin purchase incoming, should end the year of 2025 with a 25% Bitcoin yield. 1x MNAV floor today is $148. The 1x MNAV floor a year ago was $118. So by the way, here's what I want to kind of break down with this. I bought a year ago, well more than a year ago, but I was buying, dollar cost averaging in. And so a year ago when I bought, the floor was $118. And guess what? The price was obviously much higher than that at the time because the MNAV was much higher. But that was the floor. Now, the floor is $148 at 1x MNAV. So that is what Bitcoin per share does. That is what accretive dilution hands you, the long-term holder, the long-term hodler. Relentless math keeps ratcheting the floor higher. Scoop shares before people understand that. And again, this is in reference to Michael Saylor's post of back to orange. By the time that you're watching this, Michael Saylor's probably already shared how much Bitcoin he's bought. I'm going to guess it's going to be 864 million. That's my guess. I could be low, I could be high, or I could be right on. But if it's 864 million, just know that I guessed this at 6:15 a.m. Eastern time. So that's what I'm recording as we speak right now. When Michael Saylor says back to orange, who knows? Might be a small buy, might be a big buy. I'm going 864 million. But what I do love is that Michael Saylor's back to orange. This is the last buy of 2025 that's going to be announced. And then we're going to be heading into 2026, all fresh, all the new. And of course, Michael Saylor can and probably will be buying this week, but he won't announce it. This will be the last announcement, obviously, in 2025, because the next announcement will be in the new year. Let's go. Chris says, the key to investing is balancing conviction with humility. And that's kind of actually one reason why I do love the history Michael Saylor has. So many people, especially in my Twitter comments, you should see, oh my God, my last few tweets. If you're not following me on X, if you're not checking out my daily tweets and posts, they're getting a lot of hate. They're getting a lot of vindictiveness. And so many people are just like, Michael Saylor, he lost $6 billion in 2001, and he's a Ponzi. He's dilutive. He's killing his shareholders. And yes, there's been brutal price action in 2025. We are not going to deny that, period, end of story. But if you don't think that Strategy today is such a stronger company than Strategy was 1 year ago today, you don't understand the company. They were doing convertible bonds and convertible notes a year ago. They hadn't even got to the place where they were thinking about preferreds yet. It's insane how far that they've come. The engine that they've built, the vision that Michael Saylor, Fong Lee, and Strategy has is absolutely incredible. But kind of back to the humility word, Michael Saylor, he has humility. How can you not have humility when you watch your stock go from hundreds and hundreds of dollars down to 43 cents, which is what happened back in 2001 timeframe? And guess what? You think he's upset about a stock going from 500 and change down to 150? No. Like he knows this is the process. He knows this is the pendulum swinging. He knows what he has built better than even I do, and I do nothing except study this stock, which is why it's so funny when people comment in my Twitter post and they're just like, "Oh my God, it's just a Ponzi. How are you investing in a Ponzi?" And I'm like, "Okay, tell me about strategy. What do they do?" And they literally have no idea. They are clueless. They are regurgitating just filth and toxicity from other accounts that they're seeing that are probably bots, that are fudders, that are shorters, that are just click engagement individuals, and they are just clueless. I mean, that's one of my top replies is just clueless, because that's exactly what they are. And by the way, I want them to know that it's okay to be clueless, because I'm clueless about basically every other stock in the world, every other company in the world, every other founder of a company, every other CEO, like Fong Li. I am clueless about every other company in this world. And guess what? I do not ever try to post anything of knowledge about them because I know that I'm clueless. These individuals, they really think that they can just regurgitate something and be making some kind of valuable points. And they're absolutely clueless. Like if I literally could just have a truth serum for a second and say, okay, you have to respond right now with how much time have you put in to understanding the company strategy? I bet almost every single one of the responses, if this was true serum, would come back at under an hour, probably under 15 minutes. A lot of them would probably be zero, that they've taken the time to actually look into and understand the strategy. Michael Saylor has humility. I have humidity down here in Puerto Rico, but Michael Saylor has humility. And guess what? He also has conviction, and I do as well. Chris says, I'm looking forward to seeing how things unfold over the next 12 months, not because I know I'm right, but because I'll be the first to acknowledge if I'm wrong and will have learned something in the process. I don't think I'm wrong, though. Well, we'll see what happens in the next 12 months, Chris. I'm on this train with you for sure. D-Risk Dave says, Metaplanet, just a reminder that volatility is the fee to generational wealth, as I'm sure what he meant to say. So just a reminder that volatility is the fee to generational wealth. And then PD says a rite of passage. Let's go. Volatility, it hurts, it's blissful, it's painful, and everything in between. Chris says the 4-year Bitcoin cycle was always a myth. The Bitcoin cycle has always been driven by the global liquidity cycle, which coincided with the Bitcoin halving cycle. The global liquidity cycle is driven by debt refinancing cycle. The average maturity of government debt this cycle is 5 years instead of 4. That's why we're getting an extended 5-year cycle. Raoul Paul covers this in the Everything Code. TLDR, we haven't peaked yet, and we're going way higher in 2026. Speaking of way higher, let's listen to Michael Saylor. If you're ever just kind of feeling down in the dumps, or if you're feeling like your conviction's kind of sliding, just pull up one of these great interviews by Michael Saylor and go for a walk and just listen. I always come back feeling so great after these walks, and I do them, by the way, twice a day. I have a 65-pound golden doodle. His name is Gus, and he needs his walks. 3 miles in the morning, 3 miles in the evening. And I listen to Michael Saylor, and I listen to Fong Li, and I listen to a couple other individuals that I really do respect. And I come back rejuvenated, re-energized, with a smile on my face. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Michael Saylor just made an $835 million bet buying the Bitcoin dip. Right now, Bitcoin's fallen almost 40% off its October high, and the big money is buying the dip. What's your strategy? Now might be a great time to convert your IRA or 401k to Bitcoin with the help of Bit IRA. Plus, you can fund it with pre-tax funds, then continue to invest it over time as you do any other retirement accounts. Bit IRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the U.S. government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Bitcoin has proven time and time again to rebound, every cycle going from a higher low to a higher high. With Strategy's latest purchase, Michael Saylor clearly believes Bitcoin is at a discount. Time for you to get in too. Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin. When you're ready to build your complete business identity, you want to do it fast and right. With Northwest Registered Agent, you can build your business identity in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. When you want more, start your business with Northwest. Everything you need to launch and protect your business all in one place. Your business identity isn't just your logo or website, it's everything that represents you. From what customers see to what they don't, legal filings, state licenses, secure domains, and compliance tools. Northwest gives you more privacy, more tools, and more guidance so you can focus on growing your dream. For nearly 30 years, Northwest has helped entrepreneurs like us build confidently. You can form your business for just $39 plus state fees, backed by real corporate guides, people who know your state's laws and have your back every step of the way. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/paidJLD and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/paidJLD.
And if they like money. Yeah. If they're dead, they're not going to re-encrypt. And if they've lost the keys, they're not going to re-encrypt. This is going to be a massive upgrade to network security, and it's going to be a massive deflationary event. And we're going to get the answer to the age-old question, how much Bitcoin's been lost? And if the number is 5 million, we're going to see that the supply of Bitcoin is going to go from 21 million to 16 million. And the price of Bitcoin is going to go up.
Interesting.
Right? And ultimately, the quantum leap, call it the Bitcoin quantum leap, is going to be the best thing to ever happen to the Bitcoin network. Right? And the only difference between the way that a bank handles it and the way the Bitcoin community handles it is because we're global and more decentralized. We're probably going to do this not over the course of 30 days or 90 days. It'll probably take 2 years. Or 1 year.
Right.
Or some amount of time. But, you're going to argue to me that some dude that's got $1 billion of Bitcoin is going to decide they just don't want to upgrade? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right? And in this particular case, you could say, the haters, the skeptics, like, well, you're not going to get consensus. Really? Like all the smart people with money in the world that thought it was smart to put their money on the crypto network, you think they're the people too stupid to want to upgrade? I think you're going to get consensus. Like, well, it'll be too decentralized. You know how decentralized the United States government is? Right? You realize how many defense contractors there are? Like, the Walmart supply chain. If you actually look at the supply chains in the world, there's 100,000 companies that are all going to have to upgrade. They're going to figure it out, right? And so in this particular case, there's going to be an upgrade. The network security is going to upgrade. The wallet addresses that don't upgrade are getting frozen. No one's going to complain because the only people that don't upgrade will be dead people.
Got it.
Right? And the dead are not going to complain about it.
Yeah.
And those that lost their wallet, they lost their private keys, it's not going to matter. It's going to be a good thing. And this is just a natural challenge and response. The network is going to be strengthened and hardened by this because intelligent people normally respond to challenges in an intelligent way. The only people that think the community won't are people just hate Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They hate the Bitcoiners, they hate the Bitcoin community, or they have a personal agenda of spreading fear and uncertainty and doubt for some evil, nefarious purpose, generally because they want to sell you something. They want to neg you and they want to make you insecure, so you'll give them your money so they can control you or manipulate you some way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very important to transcend that fear and cynicism and skepticism and get on with your life, because otherwise you'll never accomplish anything.
I think it's a very optimistic and inspiring answer. Another Bitcoin community question. I know you're aware of this debate that's been happening. I would say mostly online, though. I mean, I don't see it much in my day-to-day in the Bitcoin world, but about non-monetary arbitrary data transactions, some call spam, right? Could be JPEGs or other sort of junk that is put on the blockchain, but in some cases could be proofs for a layer 2 or zero knowledge type stuff. But a portion of the Bitcoin community thinks these should not exist and has put forth an idea to fork Bitcoin, or another one to confiscate low-value Bitcoin to reduce the UTXO set. Do you have a view on this debate, which was sort of catalyzed by the release of Bitcoin Core V30?
We should be hyper conservative about changing the protocol.
Any change?
Very conservative. What's the second best? There is no second best.